it said Atti mode.
And did it pick right back up, Marcus, or did it
pick right back up? And God, I had a ton of satellites and everything, so I
and that's like the second person, that we heard. Well, I know. Hey, maybe it's a spot where they're flying. I don't know.
I remember when I used to, I think it was
the new era of business is here.
Oh, here we go.
Hey, yeah, checkmate King 2. This is White Rook, over.
We got you, White Rook. We got you.
Yeah, I think we're there, man.
I think we're good tonight here. Okay, everybody ready? We're going to get started here.
3, 2, 1.
And welcome into Drone Nation for July 22nd, 2024. I don't even have a title for the show tonight. I'm not feeling that well, so I kind of been cutting corners so you can hear it. My voice is probably worse than last week, but we're back here for another show here. Got Marcus Crawford with us here, and DeMarco Moore is already coaching football, whatever. So Johnny's playing quarterback tonight for us and mastermind the show here.
Marco stays busy, man. He's a busy man.
He is.
Yeah, he is.
He's gonna be busy for those kids are still young. He's gonna be busy for a while.
Yeah, he's got a few more years. Yeah, he's got a few more years.
Yeah. So, but speaking of DeMarco, I do want to give the official Drone Nation birthday of the week goes out to Maddox Moore, DeMarco's son. It was his birthday last week, and he kind of was in the show. We forgot to mention, so we're a week late. But happy Drone Nation birthday to
11 years old. 11 years
11
old.
Years,
yeah. Double ones. Yep. And here's we got another quick one here. The Drone Nation deal of the day. I should get like an echo, a reverb. The DJI Avata Explorer combo. Now this is the Avata one. I think all of the panel here owned the Explorer combo at one point or another. It's now down to an all-time low price. $759. Wow. That's the whole shooting gallery there. That's the drone, the Integra goggles, motion controller, battery, and that price is available on Amazon or DJI.com. And in notes here, I have the official Drone Nation affiliate link where you can pick that up on Amazon. So please use our link here. Help pay the bills around here.
Johnny's had about 3 of those, haven't you, Johnny?
Yeah, man, the Explorer combo. Well, yeah, I had the original, but the one we bought was $8.99, and I saw that today. Matter of fact, I got the DJI page pulled up, and they got some great refurb stuff on a lot of availability. So check that out if you're looking for,
Johnny, I'm glad you brought that up. Marcus and I, we keep putting off, but we keep talking about doing one of our refurb shows, not necessarily a live show. It doesn't have to be live. We go over all the refurb prices the whole show. Would you be interested in joining us and going over the DJI refurb store sometime?
Absolutely, but you know what? When you click a lot of that on, it says sold out on the front page. Yeah, you do have to look. I will say that because I clicked on a couple items and it says sold out only when you click it on.
That's why you have to be careful with that page.
Ron, Johnny could be our FPV expert. He's the FPV guy.
He builds them and flies them, and
hey. I tell you, I had a look.
And actually, you got now. You have the Integra goggles back again. Is that correct, Johnny?
I do not. No. I have the goggles too. Rick Williams.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which predate the Integras.
Yes.
Hey, Johnny.
But a lot of people like the goggles too. I mean, some people like it because of the battery. You can fly longer. I mean, you can exchange the batteries. You have to tuck the battery in your pocket, but that's no big deal.
Hey, seriously, Johnny. While we're on the subject, can you tell us a little bit about your new build?
I'm building a 3.5-inch Flyfish Balador. Well, my son-in-law, but Matt's got the same frame. We ordered the frame and everything. So I am going to try to build it side by side while he does it, and maybe learn. I might let him solder, but hey, I am going to follow along. But I hope to do that this weekend.
So the point of that. Is it? It's a little bit smaller drone.
A little smaller, yeah. Something you could, I guess, whip around, a little backyard cruiser type thing, or it's just. It seemed like the trend is, it was 5-inch, and then now 3.5-inch.
And what kind of battery does that take?
It's a 4S.
4S, so that's pretty powerful.
4S 850, yeah. So it's a little. So. And I had to order that too, but it's fun. I enjoy it, but those guys that, man, Michael and Sergio, I know they and Joe talked to Joe this morning. He was coming back from Chicago. They had a big FPV Palooza, had a great crowd. And
that was this
those
weekend,
guys,
John?
man, when you see those guys, that was just past weekend. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. They didn't go live. I don't remember if they went live at all, but they had a great turnout, Joe said, and the weather was good, and they had a great location to fly. So Mike and Sergio kind of put that together. I think they had about 35 or 40 pilots. So
Johnny, do you that build? I don't mean to get you back to that build, but do you does that have a GPS module on it? Can you?
I do. I am. Yeah, I am putting GPS on it. Yeah, I do. Matt does not, my son-in-law, but he, I don't know. He just didn't. The GPS module is, I don't know, it's like $14. Of course, it takes a little programming, and you can actually hit the recovery, and it'll come. It won't land on a precise landing, but it definitely comes back, and it kind of it just goes down slowly, and then it gets I guess 2 or 3 feet from the ground, it'll just land.
So you could theoretically fly it in GPS mode your whole flight.
Well, you do fly it. You can fly it in either acro
or GPS.
Horizon.
Yeah, Horizon where it just won't flip over. It'll just yeah. Got you.
So, but hey, I'm still learning. It's fun, and it's fun to see the progress. And hey, getting a sim, but it's just a fun little hobby.
And you use a DJI controller.
Correct? I do use a DJI controller. Yes.
Right.
Yes. Everything I have, that drone I have, the My Real 5 is a 03 air unit, and this will be an 03 air unit.
Do you fly with the FPV controller 3? 2?
No, the second or the first one, I guess. Yeah.
Okay.
So that's what I'm telling you, Ron. Johnny is our FPV
expert. They haven't made it compatible. They haven't made it compatible yet with the 04 air. So we'll see what.
I saw some guy in a video up today where he was talking about the 04 air unit coming out for the home built FPV drones. He was rumors and stuff, but
keep talking about it, But hey, the Air 3S is picking up a little steam. It looks like that kind of went away for a little while, so kind of picking up.
That's on the agenda for tonight.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah. So, well, can we get back to camera drones for a second?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I just.
Are you eventually gonna get rid of your camera drones and only fly? Oh, okay, good. You had me worried for a second there. I thought you were going to go to the dark side on this.
No. It's too easy to grab that camera drone or even the Avata, the whole case, and you got long flight times and got everything there. Hey, it's too easy with that Avata 2 and Avata original. So
I hear you. Okay, well, getting back to camera drones here, Nobby, he's a big channel over in the UK there. He reports that the DJI Fly app was upgraded to version 1.13.10 as released for the DJI RC 2. And it stated bug fixes and no features added. Nobby took it for a little test flight, and he couldn't see any difference on anything.
The reason I'm laughing, Ron, is that you and I watch some of the same channels.
Yeah.
And there's something about those UK channels that they every time there's just a firmware update that just says minor bug fixes or whatever, they do a big video on it. I'm going, well, if nothing's changed, what do you know?
They say the point of their videos is a lot of people ask them if it's safe to update because sometimes the update brings bugs as well as fixes them.
They make a dramatic.
Don't want to do it until they see Nobby get
it. They make a dramatic video.
He explains things well. I like his channel, so don't take that wrong. I'm just saying that sometimes it seems like they're a little bit of a stretch at different times. That's all. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, and I agree because you hear about these updates breaking stuff and whatever, but it's not like it happens all the time. It happens, but it's rare.
Listen, I love making videos about firmware updates. If there's a bullet points of things that you can go through and say, hey, look at this new feature. Look at this new feature. Oh, look at what they fixed here. But when they do the ones that just say minor bug fixes and whatever, it's like, yeah, okay. It's an excuse to fly.
Marcus, what do you say to people who don't do the fixes? I mean, don't do the updates because do they wait a certain time, or should you do the updates, or is that just a personal?
Listen, I know there's people that will tell you, wait for the firmware updates to be out for a while.
Right.
I do them right away. And, I suppose occasionally, like if we're thinking about DJI, and Ron and I were talking about this earlier today, the one where they added was it the goggles, Ron, to
the goggles 3 to the
Fly
4 Pro and the Air 3.
It created an issue with the compass. If you use the attitude indicator, it's real wobbly and stuff.
Yeah.
However, what I will also say is it doesn't affect anything. It's still a useful tool, and it works. You can see which way your drone is pointed and everything, but it is kind of shaky.
Yeah.
There's no question.
Well, the famous P mode, when it went back to P mode.
That's all wrapped in that same update, Johnny.
Yeah.
And to answer your question, Johnny, I knew that that update more or less affected the DJI RC2 controller more than did the drone. And I purposely avoid that update because I didn't want to mess my favorite controller up by bringing P mode and wobbly radar for no reason, because I have no intention of ever flying that drone with the goggles.
But that's the thing. I don't think it did it on the RC Pro. It only did it on the RC2. Yeah, so that was even more, kind of strange.
So that said, now, and Lon just posted there.
I see Lon, yeah.
I did the update for the Mavic 3 Pro as well, and it's minor bug fixes. I can't wait to get my video out about that one.
I want to see all those minor ones. Yeah. Well, moving on, GavinHR, another UK channel that covers a lot of the updates. He reports that DJI has launched a firmware version 01.03.1600 and the Fly app update that I just read before, the 1.13.10 update for the RC controller, which fixed an updating issue. And what Gavin was saying is, and I meant to say RC2 here, on his RC2, it would not update the app unless it got a full-fledged firmware update. And now this has fixed it for him, that he can update to the current app without receiving a firmware update.
So there is a place in settings that you can go force the update.
Well, he showed that, Marcus, and it did not work on his previously to this update.
I'll be darned. I've always been able to do that. In other words, when you anyway.
I see your point, and that's what I always get to. These RC2 problems seem to be different for a lot of people. It's not a 100% thing. Some people have these issues, some don't. It's kind of mind-boggling. I don't really know. Now, Sean Matthews did a video. He was trying to do these updates, and it froze his controller. So he had to wind up resetting the whole controller to get the updates to come through. So this is a multi-layered issue, and some people have no issues with any of this at all. And some people have every issue, and some are in the middle.
Hey, Ron, David J. Patterson has got a comment that says Atti mode is a real deal. And we were talking a little bit about that before the show. So I don't know what is he saying. That I know there's two people we know that the drone went back into Atti mode. So
they're mad
for his comment here. Here we go.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's what he's talking about. I know Captain Ray's drone told me Captain Ray told me last night that he was flying and his drone went to Atti mode.
And that's the Mavic 3.
Yeah. The Mavic 3, yeah. And Rob Kamada actually lost his Mavic 3.
He lost his drone, which I'll tell you, when you hear something like that, it makes me think it's some kind of a hardware failure, in the drone itself, like what happened to Rob, right? And what happened to Captain Ray, if I understand you correctly, Johnny, it did get GPS back, and he was able to.
Yes, he did.
And that can happen if you are blocked. Satellites are blocked by terrain and stuff. I'll give you an example. It doesn't happen often with DJI drones because they grab a lot of satellites.
Right.
But I've had it happen out at Lucky Peak Reservoir where I'm down in this kind of enclosed space, and if I get on the far end of the reservoir, I think that mountain blocks some of the satellites.
Yeah,
and
very possible.
I've had it go into Atti mode. But when that happens, you see the number of satellites drop on the app. But I think what these guys are talking about is, now I may be mistaken, but they're just flying along and all of a sudden they got 20 satellites and all of a sudden, boom,
it's on Atti mode.
Atti mode.
I see Jeff's comment. He was with Captain Ray there.
Okay.
Jeff Norman.
Yeah. So rebooting. So that tells you that some kind of a
and no terrain or blocking issues.
Yeah, well, it could just be a little software glitch or something.
They're going to need one of those fixes minor bugs.
Yeah. That's a major bug fix.
That's a major bug. I had that happen recently with the Mini 4 Pro. I was out flying, and all of a sudden, boom! I got a big banner on the screen that said "switched into Atti mode," and it was just for a few seconds. But it had a ton of satellites. According to the app, I had like 20 plus some satellites. So, who knows? It's kind of
we were talking about the show back in the days. I had my Phantom 4. You could purposely switch into Atti mode because lots of times I would want to fly faster than the drone would fly in GPS, and I put in Atti mode, and I had full control. The drone would fly much faster. So I mean, used to be people would flew Atti mode by choice
all the time. The Phantom 3 standard, it was.
You have to remember which position that switch was in.
It had 3 positions. I forget what the middle one. I mean, there were 3 of them. I know what 2 of them were for, but I don't know what the other one was for. Yeah. So, and also Alex Escardo reports his Mavic 3 got a firmware update this weekend. Version 01.00.1400 fixed the minor bugs, and this is from Drone DJ. You can update the Mavic 3 aircraft to that firmware I just read with the Mavic 3 Classic, Mavic 3 Pro, and the regular Mavic 3 too. And you can update the firmware versions to 01.00.700 and 01.01.0600 respectively for the. All the numbers are on the screen here for the different controllers, the Pro, and one. I don't want to read numbers off all night, but it's a bunch of numbers here, so you can update everything for your Mavic 3 series. So, Marcus, you said you did that, right?
I did that. I did that update last night, and it updated the RC Pro, the drone, and I believe it updated the app as well. Hey, I see Koopy is in here, and he said go the fastest by going traditional FPV. John, man, I don't know how to tell you this, but traditionally, DroneNation has looked to you to be our FPV expert, but I'm sorry you've been replaced by Johnnie Droneflyer. Johnnie Droneflyer is now the official.
You mean Johnny FPV?
Koopy knows
Johnny FPV.
Koopy knows so much stuff. He is technical, man. Look, let me tell you something. If you have a problem, he's the guy to talk to. I'm gonna tell you what.
And also, Johnny's our 3D printing expert as well.
So I don't know this thing right here. Look, sometimes this is like another rabbit hole. Jack Rabbit talks about going down a rabbit hole. Well, yeah, that 3D printing can be a rabbit hole there.
You know what? Koopy's gone down that hole too. Yeah.
John, he's good. John helped me. Yeah, John helped me with printing something. So yeah, it's pretty sophisticated.
I'm gonna keep my money in my wallet because I believe that not only is it a rat hole, but it's probably also a money pit once you get into 3D printing.
Well, it's not too bad, but it can be. I can see how it could be.
Ron, how many pencil holders can you make? That's what I'm saying.
There you go. Or how many bumper guards for your DJI Avata too? Yeah, we got a weather report from Scott and Do here.
Yeah.
He said big storm just went through here. Part of a tree came down on the bottom deck, smashed his gazebo.
Oh, wow.
Just missed his pool. He got a freaking mess. So it's been a bad year for our drone people. Captain Ray.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Scott.
Brian Mackey,
Mike Wright. They've all had kind of weather related, I'm gonna call them fiascos or whatever you want to call them. And now Scott, this weather's been it's been a crazy spring and summer, Johnny.
Bob Casey had some bad weather. I think Ronnie today set up, and my daughter and them are actually up in Savannah, Georgia. Ronnie said the weather was bad up that way. Ronnie Roberts. God bless
yeah.
God.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Hey, I'd like to answer Lauren. Lauren, only to my only to my good friends, and my good friends know that.
Hey, just to finish up here on the firmware updates, some of these problems. I have never touched my Air 3 and my DJI RC 2 controller. I've done all the updates on the Mini 4 Pro using the standard DJI RC and 2 controller. And guess what? Using the regular controller, I haven't had any of these issues. No P mode, no crazy radar compass. None of that happens without the DJI RC2 in the equation.
That makes sense. That RC2 seems to be kind of the center of it. There's something going on there. Speaking of stirring things up.
What? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we may be 3D printer nation in the near future.
3D printer nation.
Printer nation.
So I'll update your firmware, baby.
And Johnny, you could be print for fun.
Oh, yeah. Hey, print for fun. Yeah. Hey, that's about what it's good for. I mean, now it's useful in some, but like you say, how many little benchies or bumpers or
skulls?
What's that?
Skulls.
Yeah. Or the little award that Rick Williamson was giving away at the South Florida Drone Meetup. You know what I mean? How many of them do you need?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Or, phone holders, Hey, look, phone holders. Yeah.
There you go.
We can get creative and print some new stuff. So
yeah.
Anyhow, going to get in a little more controversial story here. Everybody buckle down here. DroneNation gets controversial. Actually, not DroneNation. Steven, our good friend Steven Sutton from the Flyby Guys, he put a video up I just watched this morning, and he wondered why drones weren't used to help protect former President Trump at that rally the weekend before when he shot. He says they could have spotted the shooter on the roof and stopped him before he even got any shots off. So he was I think he's kind of make the point when drones should have been used for good, they weren't used at all.
Well, he was also saying that could it be that the Countering CCP Drone Act affected the Secret Service's ability to have drones available to them to do that, right?
I think that they did put one up earlier, but if you saw the directors today on if you watched any of that, I wouldn't want to be that director. She was really taking a
beating. Well, without getting into all that, he was talking about drones, and the other thing is I can't remember his name, Crook, whatever his name was. He scoped the place out with a drone beforehand, and speaking of John Coopy looked it up, and there was a TFR up at that time. Well, how the hell is he flying a drone around? And it was a DJI drone, by the way.
I think he did it a couple of days though before, Marcus. I think, but
was it?
I mean,
some reports say he did that same day.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
you could be right too. Nobody gets the story
right.
Same.
Yeah.
And Stephen's point was where he was in London, central London, for some event, and that President Orlov of Hungary was there, and they set up some type of thing that they could just knock a drone out of the sky if it violated the TFR for that president. Yeah. And why don't we have technology like that? And that's when President Trump was talking, but maybe even but all that day. The thing should have been up that the drone.
So this is what John is talking about here. He's saying that the DJI aeroscope system that'll bring drones down, etc. What? Geez, you would just think that would be SOP, right? Standard operating procedure.
And John's pointing out the TFR was only for less than 2 hours.
Yeah.
So and he did, and they said he flew in the morning or early afternoon. He flew a good 5-6 hours before Trump spoke. But just getting back to this thing, if I'm not going to blame any, whether it's the Secret Service, FBI, local police. I'm not going to blame anybody. But if any one of those outfits would have had a drone flying the perimeter where those building tops were, they could have spotted that guy up there, and they could even flew the drone down to him and kind of harass him before he could get a shot off.
So that's what Stephen Sutton's point was, that could the Countering CCP Drone Act, well, not just that.
Yeah, no, you're right. You go ahead, Marcus. You're exactly right.
The federal regulations that have stopped federal agencies from being able to buy DJI drones, could that have affected that situation?
So in other words, did the CCP almost get a presidential candidate killed by putting in?
No, he's saying
rules that prevented them having drones in the air.
That's what he's saying. Did regulations keep them from having the kind of drones available to them that they needed to do?
You mentioned a certain DJI drone with the, what do you call it, with the heat sensing on it.
Yeah,
the thermal.
That's something. I mean, what's more important, the Chinese maybe modern the drone's video, or saving a presidential candidate's life? How do you weigh those two things?
Well, I mean, yeah, I see what Steven's saying. Absolutely. Drones can be used for good and they can be used for bad, as we learned through the last. But
somebody said today that whatever reconnaissance that crooks got from flying that drone around there probably didn't mean a whole lot of anything, because, well, we know there's been sharpshooters shooting down presidents and political people long before they went off the drone.
Well, I don't know if we want to get into that, but we're just talking about drones. What I will say also is, Jeff, regulations were already in place that stopped federal agencies from being able to buy and use DJI drones, and that's what he was getting at. Yeah,
because in Florida, their governor there totally told them they could not use their drones, and so I'm sure there's some of the government agencies that are not using drones because of that. Yeah,
right.
And Lon's pointing out there are the drones out there that have the type of heat camera that they could have used.
Yeah.
So, but again, just back to Steven's original point.
We're just talking about Steven's video. We're not.
Maybe some anybody's drones. Then I said maybe some drones in the air that day could have saved that shot being fired. I mean, Trump didn't get killed, but other people did.
Yeah,
could have saved lives. So, just if you haven't seen Steve, his channel's called The Flyby Guys. It's one of his most recent videos, if not the most recent one. So go over there and watch the video and leave him feedback, whether you agree with him or don't agree with him. Leave him some feedback. Okay, here we're going to get in some less controversial stuff. Well, it's still kind of controversial. Leaked images and videos of a crashed drone have appeared on Twitter/X last week that looked like could it be a Mavic 4 or an Air 3S? I don't know. You guys take over for a second. I'm going to cue some of these videos up here.
That's an interesting looking. I would say it's probably a Mavic 4 if it's a real deal. We don't, but man, did you see the size of the gimbal on that, Johnny? Yeah. That was the whole front of the drone. It's all gimbal, baby.
Yeah. It's definitely not the Air 3S or whatever they're talking about. It doesn't look like it.
Yeah. What I'm disappointed in is.
Sorry, I can't get this going. I'm going to get it here eventually.
Is a real telephoto lens. In other words, a mechanical telephoto lens, as opposed to having. Yeah, here we'll look at this. It's definitely a prototype, isn't it?
The extra sensors on top, everybody points out.
Right. Look at that gimbal. Holy guacamole.
Yeah, wow.
There's the battery on the upper corner of that desk there.
Yeah.
Look at that battery.
That still works. Heck, still use it. Johnny would still use that, Ron.
Absolutely.
Okay, I got one more coming at you here.
Yeah, that's kind of Let's say one sensor with optical zoom. These two solutions burn. I read Lon's comment there.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm with you, Lon. Why can't we get optical zoom on a? Well, listen, I'm sure there's a lot to it, but they did it with the Mavic 2 zoom. You'd think that anyway, but look at the size of that gimbal.
Wow. Now, how much bigger does that look than your Mavic 3 Pro, Marcus?
You know, you
have no scale there. Where you do the scale, you have the calculator.
Yeah. I mean, it looks huge, and it looks like it fills up the whole front of the drone, doesn't it?
Now, would you suspect this to be more of a Mavic 4 than any type of Air 3 drone?
Yeah, that would be my guess because of the Hasselblad name there. They've not used Hasselblad on anything but the big Mavics.
So this shows us that they're testing out whatever the Air 3S or whatever they're calling it, and the kind of Mavic 4 at the same time.
In other words, save your money, Ron.
Yeah,
or if you don't have enough, decide which one you're going to put. Don't jump at the first one, because if you only have so much money, you don't want to shoot your wad and then you want the other one more.
Yeah. No, understood. It'll be, again. So, Ron, should we go back to the conversation you and I had earlier today?
Yes.
In that, Ron and I were just lamenting, well, what the heck? What are they going to put on them? Here's what we both said. If DJI didn't release another drone this year, boy, we'd be perfectly fine with what we got. They're pretty damn good.
Bill Thomas says the one that appears to be in a compartment that can move.
Wow.
Just a program, Bill's on vacation this week, and he may pop up live on location, but there won't be a regular show Wednesday night.
Lon said vertical shoot. I got a question mark. Air 3S soon, Mavic 4 later, which that's kind of what we. Yeah. I mean, I think that's kind of a given, but it's not going to be a $1,200 drone. I can tell you that. That's for sure.
Yeah. So Lon just made a really.
Lon, to answer your question, Marcus.
Yeah, that is so. It's not something that I think about that much, or I bet the three of us don't. But there's a whole generation that they want to shoot in that vertical mode.
Now, let me lay some point. Now, the Air 3 has kind of vertical shooting, not full 4K, but it has
just drops in.
But
only on video, yeah.
And the Mavic 3 only has vertical if you go in and use those. What do they call those things?
Yeah, basically they're still cropping in, and it's just all that is just an assistant to allow you to see what
right. It has the worst vertical shooting of any of the drones.
Right.
The Air 3 is better, and of course the Mini 4 Pro has real vertical shooting.
Vertical,
yeah. The Mini 4 Pro is the one that can shoot real vertical.
Yeah, because the Mavic 3, you can frame it up, but you still have to crop it yourself in post. Where the Air 3 comes out cropped vertical for you. You don't do any post processing.
So. I'm wondering then, kind of what Lon.
The drone reviewer says that's a Mavic 4 Pro.
Yeah, what Lon is alluding to is one of those cameras a vertical camera that you see on that big gimbal? That's possible.
You think they could take that giant gimbal and put it vertically like the Mini 4 Pro does?
Sure, they could. Yeah, they could put a camera on there that would shoot in vertical.
Just vertical,
Yeah.
Bill Thomas says there's new Air 3S footage out already.
I hadn't seen it.
Yeah, I haven't seen it.
We're under NDA on that. Johnny just took that footage yesterday.
Johnny can't talk about it. And
Johnny just over at the football field the other day. And
hey, I'll tell you what, man, we need to get Mr. Crawford hooked up on that deal. He's the guy for that.
Yeah, Johnny. The only thing they send me is stuff like this.
Well, yeah, I mean, how many people get to WF? What is that? WF what?
The WePhone 40. Let me tell you, she's a beauty too.
They left the T out. WTF?
Yeah, that's about right. That's very accurate. Yeah.
Okay, so Lon makes a good point with the vertical shooting. I'm going to put Johnny in the hot seat here. Johnny, what feature do you want to see the Air 3S or the Mavic 4 have that your current drones don't have?
Man, I don't know, Ron. Man, we're getting to points like we always talk about. They're going to come up with something. I mean, battery technology is great. I mean, I guess maybe some kind of vertical, but maybe a little more zoom. But I don't know, man. I tell you what, it's not to me. It's hard to get excited about new drones right now. It just really
get me going, Johnny.
What's that?
It is a real telephoto, mechanical telephoto, and speed, baby. Make that sucker do about 60.
Right. They haven't got much of a speed increase in years.
Yeah,
just incremental. Yeah.
Get that sucker up to about 60. Yeah.
Yeah. Why can't do 60 at this point?
Yeah. Yeah.
You think they purposely govern it down a little bit, Marcus?
Well, I think it's probably because you got to control that gimbal, right? So higher speeds, it's harder to control that gimbal.
I'm
quite
Big
sure.
orange, Zach saying a 1-inch sensor. I mean, that's kind of a, we had the 1-inch sensor, then it went to the stack sensor. So yeah, I mean,
Johnny, glad you brought that up. Have you ever seen a comparison between the Air 2S, which features the 1-inch sensor, and the Air 3 that doesn't feature 1-inch sensor? Have you ever seen a comparison where the 1-inch sensor looked any better than the Air 3's smaller sensor?
I mean, there've been some videos. I personally can't see a big difference, but some people, some people say it's much better.
I've done side by side. I can't see that one's any better than that. I've seen other people's videos. I can't see where the 1-inch sensor in the Air 2S looks any better than the Air 3.
People love the Air 2S. I mean, they really do.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, I don't need a camera spec improvement if I can't see the difference on my screen. That spec bump doesn't mean much to me.
Yeah.
So I also wanted to bring up what Lon said in a comment earlier. He's thinking, and when you look at that gimbal, it does kind of make sense. He's saying that whole gimbal could spin around. The way they have it like a flashlight on the front of that drone, I think that's very. I agree with you, Lon. That sounds that sounds very plausible for vertical video.
Vertical video.
Just in other words, all three of those cameras, any of them, because you're flipping that whole thing over. Yeah.
Dr. Ted saying any hints when the drones will be released. Lon already said the Air 3S soon, the Mavic 4 later. And Jay Bird, he wants a 360 camera on the Mavic 4. I mean, would that be in place of the regular camera, or would that be another camera on the gimbal, or how would you do that?
You've got an adapter for your Air 2, don't you, Ron?
Right. I mean, I think he wants to build it and not by thrown on by Insta360 or whatever as an add-on.
Honestly, I'm the wrong guy.
I don't know how you do that and still have the other cameras.
Yeah,
I guess I guess 1-inch for low light situations. Yeah, I mean, the night cameras, the cameras have gotten so much better at night. It seems like, even though I see that Hakarasho they're saying low light.
So one of the things that Ron and I talked about earlier today is that a lot of people get focused on that sensor size, and I'm no electronics expert, but I know what looks good when I see it on my computer screen. And I guess when I look at my current Air 3 or the Mini 4 Pro for that matter, I know that video looks so good. Is it as good as my Mavic 3 Pro? Well, maybe not quite, but it looks really good. And I compare that Autel Lite Plus with just a 1-inch sensor, even to that Micro Four Thirds sensor on the Mavic 3. If they're side by side on the screen, I'm not sure I could tell you the difference. They look so good. So I'm just wondering, and Ron and I were just kind of agreeing, is that sensor size, is it that important? And I'm not an engineer.
In that bigger conversation, we both agreed that I like better color science. To me, good color science of drones is more important than a bigger sensor or an 8K or.
Yeah, and you know, we were also talking about sharpness in video, soft focus as opposed to sharpness. I tend to like sharper looking video, and I know that's a subjective thing, and maybe that's why I like the video off of that Autel Light.
And most drones have the problem of over sharpening rather than under sharpening. Not as common as over sharpening.
Yeah.
On drones and small cameras. It's Bill the drone review saying break open your piggy banks for that Mavic 4.
I think we all already assumed that. Yeah, I bet you that's going to be a $3,000 drone. I'm willing to bet.
David J. Peterson says Mavic 3 Pro V2.
Mavic 3 Pro.
And Lon saying, no, I think the whole camera turns. It's
so that's what we're just talking about. Yeah.
And nice. Jeff Norman says it's a WTF 40.
Yeah, that's what Johnny said earlier too.
Bill's guessing the Mavic 4 is going to be over 4K.
Bill, I'll agree with you in the Fly More kit, but I would say I'll bet you we see the standard kit, maybe not 3,000, but it could be like 2,600. I'll bet. Easily,
yeah, I would say.
Yeah.
Intel Multi-Rotors is predicting we'll see the Air 3S first, then the Mini 5 Pro, and then lastly the Mavic 4. Just my opinion.
So yeah, I get that. The one thing that Ron and I talked about this earlier today too. One thing that we haven't heard anything about is a Mini 5. Could they skip a year, Johnny?
No. I just don't see it. I mean, it hasn't happened before, so I don't know. But because right now,
because it's their bread and butter, they sell so many of them.
I just think that the mini drones people love those mini drones, and not just in the U.S.
If you're in retail, if your old product still selling like hotcakes, you don't replace it until it stops selling like hotcakes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean they've reduced the prices so much on the mini drones too. That I mean, what was the one was what $239 for Amazon Prime Day?
Yeah, the
Mini 4K.
Yeah. Hey, so I think somebody just kind of tipped their hand here a little bit. John Flynn over at Fly and Flynn Media, he says color science on the Mavic 4 is hard to beat. So he has one. He must be one of the DJI testers that has the Mavic 4.
No wonder he gets us good shots.
Yeah. John, you're holding out.
I'm far behind. I can't find his.
Yeah. Oh, you want me out here? I'll put it up.
Yeah, I'm a million miles behind. There it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, he must be hanging out with Eddie Nunez because they can walk into Best Buy and get that drone.
Yeah. Actually, he's out there in Western Michigan. He's probably following line around.
Yeah.
So speaking of Lauren, he's got something here saying that. Yeah. So I think he's giving us yeah.
Huh. So we thinking there may be a Air 3S, a Mavic 4, and a mini drone before the end of the year.
And Intel, he predicted the Mini 5 Pro before the Mavic. And of course, we're all forgetting it's on the agenda here. We all forgetting the DJI Action 5 Pro camera in the mix somewhere.
Man, yeah, two action cameras, yeah.
Johnny's gonna be expensive fall.
Boy, you're not lying.
Fall.
You have to start with DeMarco. Better hit all these football games. I can tell you that.
So Johnny, you're saying that we're gonna have the Air 4. Some people are saying Air 3S.
What, same drone? Okay, yeah.
I know. I'm just saying, why wouldn't they just call it the Air 4?
I mean, me neither. I would say I would agree with that. Yeah.
And then a Mini 5 Pro, and then a Mavic 4. Will it be called the Mavic 4 Pro or just Mavic 4?
I think there'll probably be two variations of it. Yeah.
Could be.
And two action cameras. So yeah, there's a lot coming out.
John Flynn's okay. He didn't violate his DNA. He bought it at Harbor Freight.
Hey, Bill Thomas is saying a dual lens on a Mini 5. Bill, I think the problem with that again is you're talking about weight, especially with a sub 250 drone. that's why I've always kind of argued against that.
And Bill dropped the link for the Air 3S video.
Yeah, if anybody could do it, it would be DJI. So yeah, and I think Ted is kind of onto something there too. Ben, get the sales while they can, right?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
And David J wants a true professional Inspire Mini.
Yeah, I wonder. Yeah, I think that's what they're shooting at with the where they're pushing the Mavic 4. I think they're pushing the Mavic. They're tilting it more into the professional realm, and the Air series is more for consumers like us.
Morris, if you didn't have the Mavic 3 right now, would you buy a Mavic 3? I mean, would you buy the Air 3 and skip the Mavic 3?
So let me rephrase that if I can just a little bit, Johnny. If I could only have one drone, if all these were gone and I could have one drone, it would be the Mavic 3 Pro.
Gotcha.
Yeah. That's the one. That's the one I'd keep. Now the Air 3 is really close in a lot of ways, and in a few ways it's even a little better. But if you look overall at the big picture, ask Lon about that. He'll tell you that. Mavic
and Mike Wright saying he doesn't believe there'll be a Air 3S.
Yeah, so he's thinking there'll be the Air 4, I think is probably what Mike is saying. Am I correct? Yeah.
I mean, I hate to say it really doesn't matter what they call it, but there's a new variation. I mean, new something's coming out for sure. Air 3S, Air 4. I mean, I'm like Marcus. I don't know why it wouldn't be an Air 4,
Yeah.
And Lauren saying Inspire Mini will never come with mini price.
Yeah. I like the next comment. I like Bill's idea. Yeah. Yeah. So in other words, you could pass the drone on to, people with another controller. You could just pass it down the line. So for instance, if you're a utility company and you're inspecting lines, you just launch that drone in one direction and then the next guy takes control of it, then the next guy, and so forth. Yeah.
Okay, let's jump to our next story here. I think maybe we knew this last week, but we didn't have all the details. Introducing the DJI SDR transmission, unparalleled stability, anti-interference, and superior penetration for exceptional on-set monitoring and collaboration experience. DJI is growing its role in the broader film and video production industry with its latest innovation, $549 for the combo, or the units are sold separately. And what this device is, got a radio kind of a device. And if you were working in a professional environment, you could hook your camera's feed up, and like a director or producer, somebody could see the feed live on a separate screen, and also has the ability to even, I think you can even pull the video off the filming camera. You can pull it off as it's being shot too.
Ron, I'll tell you, that is just so out of my bailiwick. I had a company approach me and want me to review a similar product. And I just told them, I said, listen, you got the wrong guy. I said, there's no way that I could do anything like that justice. It's not anything I do. That's the kind of, you're getting into original Dobo territory there.
Yeah, you don't have a film crew for somebody to monitor you when you're flying.
Yeah.
You don't even Inspire, let alone a producer or director watching the live feed.
Mark Fisher might. Yeah, Mark Fisher could.
Mark Fisher is interested in this product because his clients can watch what he's doing, shooting live when he's doing it, so you can get instant feedback. So yeah, for a Mark Fisher, this could be a very good device. And apparently they have this type of technology now, but not working at this, at the range and the image transmission, how good the signal looks as DJI is doing here.
Right.
So I see, since that we talked about Bill Grace's comment, a lot of there's several comments there that from Lauren and Lon that said that that's already something that can be done. I did not know that.
Good.
Yeah, using RC Pro. Okay, wow.
Yeah,
I wouldn't.
Say, anybody looking for an SDR, you can go to the DJI's website and order it today. I don't have a I don't have a link. So you know, and you know, if you do want to use that other link, put the discount code Johnnie Droneflyer in and save an extra 10%.
Yeah.
Put the
Hey,
W.
Bob Casey's got a comment there, Ron.
Who is on?
Next one down from where you're at right now, Bob Casey.
Casey?
So now the Air 3 has OcuSync 4, correct?
Yes.
And the Mavic 3 Pro is on OcuSync 3.
Ocu 3, Ocu Plus, Ocu C
3 Plus. That's right. That's right. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely has a better signal, Bob, especially when you get behind buildings and trees and stuff like that. The penetration on the Air 3 is better than the Mavic series. If you're just flying out with nothing in your way, flying over the ocean or the desert, you probably won't see much of a difference. But once you get around objects, you see.
You know what makes the biggest difference that I've seen is using that RC Pro that has 2 external antenna and 2 internal antenna. It makes a big difference. It does.
Yeah. Okay, another quick story here. The DJI 4G cellular dongle 2 is now available for most European countries. It was available in China for a while, and it's got some mixed reviews out there. I posted, what's the guy from the UK? The guy got the Mini 4 Pro.
Oh, I know who you're talking about.
Darren.
Double D Productions or something like that.
DM Production.
He got the dongle, and of course he's in the UK, so he's legit. So he got a a what do you call it, the card where you put the cellular card, put it all in, and he got no better results with a cellular card than he did just flying it regular. But like Lon made a comment pointing out that he used some kind of like a cheap cellular card, like you get in the plastic at the
so it would depend on the system, right? I mean, there's places that T-Mobile has a better connection than Verizon, and
absolutely
vice versa. So that's pretty subjective. We don't, depends.
Yeah, and he was flying in a rural area, and like rural areas sometimes don't have as much cell coverage as urban areas. So I mean, his test is what it was, but if you didn't fly in the same type of environment he did, you may not get the same results.
Where that I think would be handy is not ultimately for range, but if you are, like you said, Ron, in an urban environment in a city, and you're flying around behind a building or something, I think that's where that would be.
Or like if you're at your school and you have a cellular tower in the middle of the school, you would never lose connection because you'd be, especially if the card could pick up all the different networks.
Hey, Bob Casey, I don't think it has the dongle in it, but it has a space for it. As far as
where's Bob's comment?
I'll put it up, Ron.
Is that right?
Okay, Bob, here you go. The Air 3, you have to unscrew 2 screws, pull a thing out, put in. Now, the Mini, it works in Mini 4 Pro too, but that does have to be a dongle that kind of hangs off the side.
Yeah, right? I think they have an attachment that you have to put on the drone.
But the Air 3 is real slick. You don't even know it's there once you.
They were thinking ahead.
Because Darren, he scraped his up by not doing it right. He scrapes at the bottom of his drone by not doing it right.
Yeah.
So anyhow, people talk about this dongle. They're not legal in the U.S. People always put the comment. Yes, we know. I know they're not legal in the U.S. You don't have to leave any comments that they're not. We understand not legal in the U.S. We're talking about people use them in the UK and Europe right now, test them out. But again, mixed testing here. It's not the wonder. It's not the wonder thing that everybody's hoping for, that you put the what do you call it, the cellular card in, the drone flies forever. Not in all environments, at least.
Yeah, well, like Morgan says, I know we go on motorcycle trips years ago, like in some place in Colorado, we had to use Verizon phone. Some place we had to use AT&T, so it's like, hey, give me your phone, or, it's like, it's all, it's different.
Yeah. When I was at, I think it was Yellowstone Park or whatever, some park, Yosemite Park. Like I was still talking on my phone to somebody. Say, how you doing that? It turned out to be whatever cell company. I was the only one that worked there. People with the other ones, it didn't work.
Yeah.
So, okay. The rumor mill is reporting that the new DJI Action 5 Pro, which has already received its FCC grant approval, will be released around the second week in August, and that puts it right on track with about the time the Action 4 was released last year. You guys been hearing anything similar, or?
Well, we've seen enough pictures from Osita and who's the other guy? I get them all confused, but
Osita and
Igor,
yeah. No doubt because where there's smoke, there's fire. We've figured that out in the past, so no doubt there's something coming. But kind of like the point that you and I that we've made, Ron, is, man, that Mini 4 or the Action 4 looks so damn good. I'm just going, what are they going to do? What are they going to do to make me want to buy one? I don't know.
They talk about this will have this big improved battery life, but I mean, what's improved battery life? If it gives me like 5 more minutes battery life, I don't know if that's worth a big upgrade. I think it gives me like half hour more battery life, but I don't know if 5 minutes or less is a must upgrade.
Yeah. Hey, I'm just looking. I just happened to flip over to Facebook here because I had a message come through. Scott Nadeau has posted pictures of his deck, and yeah, it's a big mess.
Oh wow. Where is Scott? Where is Scott at?
Minnesota,
I believe.
Where?
Minnesota, the land of 1,000 lakes.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
No 1-inch sensor, another stupid stack sensor. Line. Well, line is only 2 of them coming out, so you know it's
yeah. There's another. Yeah. Well, Lon, you know the old saying.
So we already covered 9. That was talking about what we're looking forward to the next DJI drones. We kind of came up with vertical shooting and optical zoom on at least like the Mavic 4 or something. Of course, you're not going to see that in a mini drone or.
Yeah.
A lot say no 1-inch sensor, whatever it is. Yeah. They've outlawed the 1-inch sensor.
Well, so this is another discussion that Ron and I have had plenty of times. I mean, these action cameras, everybody talks about, oh, well, they could be better in low light. That's not what they're for. It's an action camera. They are built and designed for outside and in the light. If you want a studio camera, go buy one.
If you
want a low light camera, go buy one. That's not what they're for.
Yeah, I mean, well, they want it to be studio camera because it's only like $299.
Well, that's probably true too.
Yeah. So, and I mean, we talked before the Action 4 is pretty good in low light. The Mini 4 Pro is pretty good in low light. The Air 3 is pretty good. Well, the equipment we have now is pretty good in low light.
It's pretty good. Yeah.
What are you shooting in a mine or something like that? A mine shaft? I mean, how good does it have to be?
Yeah.
Action 4 rocks incredible camera. Yeah, Bill. Yeah.
Yeah, the Action 4 is, I mean, of course they'll improve it, but I mean, they can't. Put it this way, Johnny, we're tired of incremental improvements. I don't want to upgrade every year because something's slightly better,
Well, I mean, I hope you do, because I can pick up, I can retire to Action 2 when you get to Action 5 because I can get your Action 4,
Yeah, your camera was on sale for $199 last week on the Amazon Prime days.
Yeah, hey, I don't even know if I would sell my used one for $199. That was incredible buy.
Right. I'll tell you the big feature, Johnny, that made that Action 4 just really cool for me is the fact that it will connect to your DJI mic system, right? Yeah. And it's not just that, but you press that link button on the mic and it starts and stops the camera for you. So I have my tripod set up. I'm not reaching over to turn the camera on and off. I can do it right on the mic. It's like a remote control.
Yeah. Well, that's something that they definitely improved. I mean, Action 2 was great, but Action 3 not so much. But then Action 4, they kind of hit it out the park right there.
Yeah.
Good. Lon's got sensor sizes up there.
Yeah.
Pocket 3 1-inch, Air 3S 1-inch, and the Action 5 the smaller 1/1/3.
He's got to add his comment.
And then we got Ross all the way in here from down there in Australia.
So he's saying the light. If I knew that, I forgot about it. So he's talking about not the Light Plus, just the standard light.
Right.
It flips the camera just like the Mini 4 and the Mini 3 Pros do.
Does the Autel what's their main drone called?
The Nano Plus.
Does the Nano flip it vertically?
Not that it does. No, I don't believe so.
Okay, so their only camera that does true vertical is the Autel Light, not Non-Plus Light.
I thought the Nano.
Well, Ross will be able to give us the straight scoop on that, but
I thought the Nano did too. Maybe I could be wrong.
Oh, did it?
Well, I had both of them, so I don't.
I can't remember.
I don't remember it on the Nano.
Not the Nano. Okay, he said it. Not the Nano.
Yeah.
Okay, so their only camera is is that light, not the Plus. Just the regular light.
Hey, Lon, I still have the Light Plus, and I like it. I don't have the light, but I got the Light Plus. Oh, and my friend Tanya has the light. She has the light. She bought it at Best Buy. Jeez, Lon.
Yeah, well, I mean, I tell you what, it was a great. I mean, if they would have made a RC type controller, I mean, I would have kept both of those drones. That was my goal there.
Oh, that's probably my biggest gripe against that Light Plus is that you still are stuck with a using your phone for an FPV feed. Yeah.
And that Light Plus, it was on sale Father's Day for what was it, $687, and it was on sale still on sale at that price on Amazon Prime days too. So
was it?
As recent as this week, you can still pick that drone up for under $700.
Wow.
I know it's tempting.
Yeah.
Let's see here.
Not that tempting.
Now the Nano Plus does not flip the camera, so that confirmed. Thanks.
The Light Plus, though. Yeah, the Light Plus is a great drone. I
know there's 3 people with the light.
You can't please Lon.
There's 3 people with the. Well, yeah, not many people did have the light. Everybody had the Light Plus. Yeah.
So there's
it's hard to find a light. The Light Plus is the one that was all over the place.
Yeah,
you had to look real hard to get just a regular light.
Yeah, I'll never forget Tanya. I met Tanya out at a local park to go flying, and she's all excited. She comes out, she pulls this orange drone out of her bag, and she goes, "I got an Autel Evo." And I said, "Well, yeah, it's an Evo, but it's an Evo Light." She thought, I think she thought she bought the Evo 2 or Evo. Yeah. Anyway, Evo 2. Yes.
Yeah. Oh, she got the Evo 2?
She thought, I think that's what she thought she was buying. And she bought the light, which it's still a great drone. So, yeah. She had, in fact, she had some connection problems with it. It turned out to be just not pushing she had her cover on her phone. You know, just it was keeping the cable from going all the way in. But anyway.
Yeah. Jeff Dorman, he's a big fan of this Light Plus, makes superior images to almost every drone.
I tell you, Jeff, I tell people all the time, if I had them side by side on my screen, the Light Plus and my Mavic 3 Pro with the micro 4/3 sensor, I don't know, maybe I'm sure some people could tell the difference, but boy, it looks really good.
You guys are tempting me to spend that $687 and get the Light Plus.
I'm just telling you. Look, now the problem is the drone doesn't perform like the DJI drones do. It's, in fact, I would say that my Light Plus, the Mini 4 Pro, is faster and more agile than that, even though it's a bigger drone. But really, why do you buy a camera drone? You buy it for the camera, right? So it's got the chops there.
Right.
Yeah, the Light Plus was good. I mean, the Nano, no, it was pretty. If you needed to get there on Tuesday, you probably need to start Monday afternoon.
Yeah, it's all right. But there again, the Nano Plus, it's all about that camera.
The camera, yeah, it was definitely a great camera. Yeah, absolutely.
Every time I look at video off of that, and that's what a 3 or 4-year-old drone now. I look at the video off that thing, and boy, oh boy, it really pops.
But obviously, they're not making anything else. You know, Autel doesn't look like consumer end. So
yeah, and like you said, the downside is that you can't get an all-in-one controller with a FPV screen on it.
Yeah.
Ross is pointing out that the Light has the best low light consumer camera.
Yeah. So the Light, and Ross, correct me if I'm wrong, I believe the Light has the same camera as the Nano Plus.
I believe that's correct.
Yeah.
And what was that camera sensor called?
YYB or whatever. Ross will tell us.
Or YYB. Yeah. Or YYB.
Yeah. It replaced the green filter with a yellow one.
Yellow filter, right? And so, you know what? Lon makes that point often, and I guess what I'll tell you, Lon, is if somebody said you can only keep one drone back here, it'd be the Mavic 3 Pro. That's the one I'd keep.
Yeah, or YYB.
Just I like to fly multiple drones, and the two newer drones are smaller than the Mavic 3. But I mean, I'm not saying they're better. Maybe they're better, but they're different. Lots of times I have to take the little mini just because I don't know I'm going to fly. It's easy to take along. I'm not carrying a bunch of big gear along with me.
Dude, that is so. If you're just taking your backpack out someplace, you throw that Mini 4 Pro, and you don't even have to take a bunch of battery. Right? It depends on what you're doing. You just throw a battery and the controller in there. Boom! It's lightweight, and you're getting some great video, and it flies great. Yeah.
And if you don't get around to flying it, you didn't carry a big heavy thing with you
all day. That's exactly right.
Ross has us corrected. It's the RYYB.
RYYB.
It's a red, 2 yellows, and what's the B that stand for? Blue.
Yeah.
A red, 2 yellows, and a blue.
Yeah.
And Jeff says he's holding his Light Plus now. The lens does not turn. It can crop, as Marcus said before.
Yeah.
So you need that, just a regular light to get the vertical.
Yeah. And then Lon's comment right there. Lon, I don't know, buddy, but all I know is when I look at the video on my screen, it looks damn good to me. That's all I can tell you.
Yeah.
It does have a different color science than the DJI drones.
Yeah.
No doubt. Bob Casey's pointing out the Air 2S is a one-inch sensor and great low light capabilities, just needs more battery. And I agree. I mean, if the Light Plus or the Mavic 3 or the Air 3 are better, they're not much better than the Air 2S.
Yeah, the Air 2S is another one that's phenomenal.
Bob's right about the battery. You don't get the battery life, but do you get a long battery life with the Plus, the Light Plus? Does it give you that roll-on battery?
It's someplace in between. Yeah. And that's an interesting point that Ross is making there. I did not know that. Yeah.
Joe Fotaleo made it back from the FPV Palooza. I see.
Joe was there, huh? So help Bobby, a video coming up soon.
Yeah, I'm sure they will be. They had that event. Yeah. Angel. There was that's where DJI have to buy the batteries. Make more flight time batteries for any drone. Yeah. So Marcus, so when we expect a review of the WF-40?
So this is just, man, that.
I mean, I wait for the S version to come out, but
yeah. So actually, I have it all in the can. I just got to get it edited up, and it's just so bad. And it's $209 for.
Oh wow!
Yeah, and
for 30 more bucks, you could get the Mini 4K.
The only reason I accepted it for review was the person that wanted me to review it. She has sent me some other drones that I actually wanted to review. So I told her, I said, sure, but it's just going to be bad. The first time I took it out, it didn't even record anything to the micro SD card, and I got a couple things figured out, but it's horrible. Yeah.
So Mark, is that an Amazon type drone?
It's an Amazon drone.
Okay,
It's already for sale on Amazon too. $209, and you just feel sorry for people that's what that you might as well just burn $200. I don't know what to say.
All about knowledge, though, and advertisement. People don't know. Yeah. Okay, I was reading.
And so Ross has made that point many times. He likes the DJI flight controls and so forth. Yeah, and so in full light, I think he's absolutely right. If you take several of these drones, and Ron, you make that point to me all the time, that when you're in full light conditions, man, almost anything can look really good, huh?
Yeah, even a small sensor like the Mini 2. You took the Mini 2 out in real good light. It was fine.
Looked really good. Yeah.
And what Ross is saying here, I think all the current drones, whether it be the Air 3, the Mini 4 Pro, they're kind of all pretty good in low light now. I mean, I don't know how. Again, everybody's low light different. This is different. I'm not saying it's good in a flying in an abandoned coal mine or anything, but I don't fly much after the sun sets. So to me, the current DJI drones are fine until the sun's below the horizon.
Yeah.
So I want to answer Dave, the next one down. Dave, I completely agree with you. This little Firefly A20 is more fun than a barrel full of monkeys. Johnny's the one that got me onto this drone. That's a lot of fun.
Johnny's got a link down below.
That's a $20 drone. Boy, is it fun.
It is fun. I was flying it the other day in the house when it was raining. Yeah. Banning on them must be cool. Those are awesome. Yeah, it is a fun little drone.
Yeah.
I had 10 or more. Wow.
Yeah. So he's talking about the OG Avata, and it just depends. I mean, the one that they complained about even more was on the original DJI FPV drone.
Yeah. I mean, Angel, we put that DroneNation deal today for only $749, but my advice would be pony up another $200 and get yourself the Avata 2 instead. Once you agree, Johnny?
Yeah, I mean, I would, but hey, that's a hell of a price. I mean, you got the goggles and the motion controller and the drone, a battery.
Yeah, maybe you don't care about camera much or whatever. Maybe you only fly when it's real sunny.
I think the FPV, at least, I think and I was talking to Matty a while ago, we were just talking, like you've seen so many crashes with the original Avata, and now with Avata 2, you really haven't seen a whole lot of crashes because people learned to fly in the past.
Well, that could be. That's a good point.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's sometimes you don't even have to you don't have to record everything you do just with the Avata, especially it's the experience of flying, with those goggles. And I think that's a big difference.
Now, what did Captain Joe hit with his Avata 2?
He hit a pole. You know how the boat launches have kind of out from where they launch the boat, they kind of have the two sticks that stick up, and he come out.
I think that was target fixation.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you one thing.
Motorcycle.
He couldn't have hit it in a square. I can tell you that.
Whang.
Hey, he couldn't get the alligators rescued from the bottom of the river.
He's in the chat. We went flying. When did we go?
This is a random poll.
Random poll.
Yeah, we went Saturday. We went Saturday morning.
Yeah.
Not back to where the pole was.
No.
You should. Somebody should put a flag on that pole.
We went out. Well, actually, the pole is gone now. They took it
down.
Yeah.
Somebody took the pole?
Yep.
The pole's gone.
The pole is gone. Hey, that place we fly today, I don't know if Joe saw it. I'm just, something popped up a while ago on a feed. The Madisonville, Louisiana, they found somebody left a baby, a newborn, in a car seat out there. And the police found a little baby a little while ago.
Oh, no.
So, yeah, that was kind of weird. I saw Madisonville, Louisiana pop up. So, wow.
Huh.
Joe had the pole removed. Yeah. I don't know about that. Yeah.
And now Angel's saying he says, I'm waiting for the drone only when it comes out for sale. Don't want to buy the Avata 2 full combo. I want to use my Integra goggles and RC too.
Yeah.
I don't know what the deal is. You hardly ever see the drones for sale.
Bill, the drone viewer, checking out. See you, Bill.
Good night, Bill.
Good night,
I'll see
Bill.
you tomorrow night. Don't forget, Bill the Drone Reviewer, Tuesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, live from sunny Florida.
Sunny Florida. Yeah, I don't know. The Avata 2 is still not. I don't even. It's not available by itself yet, right?
Now I put in. I think I put in that thing, you know, where they're supposed to email me when it's available.
Yeah.
I've never gotten an email.
Yeah, I don't know why it take. I mean, I guess they want to sell them as kits. It's kind of strange that they don't, but because I mean, it's not cheap, but by itself. So
yeah. Mark White says apparently nobody knew who had put the pull up. It was a solar powered, and the authorities didn't put it there.
Yeah, that's what Joe. That's what one of the police officers told Joe.
Paul, not Paul.
You can buy the drone only from a couple of retailers. Yeah, I think Lon.
He said he's pretty sure it drops in a couple of weeks.
Okay. Hey, by that time it might be an Avata 3 coming out.
Well, this one's pretty darn good. I don't think we're going to need another Avata for a while.
No, I'll tell you what, Ron, I would have to agree. We always talk about the camera drones and what we just asked, like, what do we want in the Mavic 4, the Air 4 coming out? But man, the Avata 2 was almost everything I think that people ask for. I mean,
I think the only thing they could really do is just like Marcus talked about the camera drones. They should just make the Avata 2 go faster in sport mode.
Yeah.
So you can still get some speed without going into acro or manual mode.
But it's every other thing, man. The SD card was in the right.
Right
spot.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just the noise level. I mean, Captain Joe and I was flying the other day, and man, we were out there, and somebody was on a soccer field, and it's like, man, they wasn't even really paying attention to us. But before with the Avata, they'd be like looking
about a month ago, I did that comparison between the video and the Avata 1 and Avata 2, and I hadn't flown the Avata since I got the Avata 2, and I forgot how that noise level and the memory card, all the inconveniences of the Avata 1.
So Ron, you still have your original Avata, right?
It's for sale though, Johnny.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's on the market. I gotta lower the price now with that $749.
Johnny will be interested. He likes those.
No, I just sold mine. I just sold a brand new in a box. So
but you need another one.
No. Got the Avata 2. I'm great.
And David J's pointing out the Mini 3 Pro is gone. It's been discontinued. You can still pick it up at other retailers. Maybe.
Or you can hit me up and I'll sell you one.
There you go.
The line says it's coming in a couple weeks. I believe him. I'm sure he knows why he said it. Releasing a big update for the Avata. Oh yeah, when that came out. So Marcus, you've been flying the Avata 2? Not a whole lot.
I've flown it for probably a month and a half or more.
Gotcha.
The problem, I was telling somebody about this, Johnny, that like one reason I don't fly enough, when I go away someplace, I never take it with me because of the goggles and stuff. It makes it too big to fit in like any type of a camera bag. It's inconvenient to travel. So it never really leaves, like kind of a short drive from my house or whatever, because it's too big to put it. It's too clunky with those goggles, or even the shape of the Avata that fit in any case but a big clunky case, or even it doesn't pack well.
I typically, often when I'm flying, I'm by myself too. So you got the goggles on and situational awareness and all that. So it's not as convenient as, to me, just throwing up a camera bird.
And, sometimes I want to get a specialized shot with the Avata, Avata 1, Avata 2, where I want to get something low, close or something. So, I mean, I'm using the Avata for usually a specific type of shot or purpose I want to get, so, yeah.
Let me say, Johnny, I love that Avata. So I'm not, that Avata 2 is awesome. And I enjoy flying it when I do. I'm just saying that it's not as convenient as
Well, it's almost it's almost a case you gotta grab, and hey, I'm flying the Avata 2 today, you know,
Exactly
and I'm just going to fly it and relax a little bit, you know, not really going out to. I'll say you don't have to film every time you go out, you know, it's cool, but you know, Joe and I flew the other day, and you know, we didn't hardly really shoot a whole lot, but you know, I did try to take Joe out underneath the gazebo there. So.
But no, I mean, the camera's great in that drone. The goggles are great. I mean, I almost can't say a bad thing about the Avata.
Yeah, DJI. Look, hey, we talk about the new drone, maybe the Air 4, the Air 3S coming out. You know, look what they did with the Avata. The price actually came down from the original Avata. Now, I'm not saying, you know, of course, you know, maybe the Air 4 won't be like anything like the Mavic 4 price wise, but man, the Avata 2 was really I'm not saying it was a steal, but it was definitely a great buy. I'll tell you that.
Well, going back to the Air 3, John, the Air 3 was only $100 more than the Air 2S, and that came out like 2-3 years ago.
Yeah.
So they held the line on there too.
Yeah, well, we got a little sticker shock, you know, from the Mavic 3 there, for it seemed like, and then drones, you know, kind of came back down.
They you know, with all the inflation going on all over the place, it didn't hit the DJI drones.
Yeah.
Except for the Mavic 3, which actually the Mavic 3 came out before the inflation really kicked in.
Right. All right. So
Bob Casey said he never had a DJI drone he didn't like. It's like the Will Rogers of drones, huh? I'm going old time. A lot of people probably don't remember old Will Rogers.
Hey, DJI drones I mean, listen, we could say they call us, you know, fanboys and all that stuff or whatever, but they work really good, and they're really, I'm not saying there's no comparison. There's a couple of drones out there that's real good, but the DJI is spot on.
David J. Peters says he may go fly the Inspire 2 tomorrow.
Nice drone.
Definitely not a mini drone. We had a couple of them at the Great South Florida drone meetup, didn't we, Johnny?
Quite a few. It's funny how let's see, when we all went to I guess the 2 years ago, man, everybody had that Avata. The next year, everybody really had the Avata too, you know?
Right.
So.
Well, of course, the Avata 2 wasn't out at last year's, was it?
No. Well,
no,
I can't even.
So this meetup, everybody's going to be Avata too.
Yeah, but we I mean, after we saw the Avata that time, we came back and you know, bought them.
Shortly thereafter, yeah.
Fun drone.
Right. So this year we got a lot of drones coming out soon, hopefully, or maybe. So far to this date, what's the drone of the year? You know, we need to do our FEMI. We
drone
need to do
of
our
the year
pretty soon. I'm gonna try to get Gorilla Man, and we'll do
I just got this little case. I mean, I tell you what, this thing is like a really mini GPC case.
It makes it look professional, Johnny.
I'm telling you. No, hey, it's fun little drone.
What is the drone of the year so far for 2024?
Avata 2.
That's a strong contender, Johnny.
Absolutely, yeah, no doubt. I mean, it's not even close.
Marcus, what's the budget drone of 2024 so far?
You know what? Just purely on the value that it brings to the table, the DJI Mini 4K. I'm not saying it's the most technologically advanced or anything like that. I'm just saying from the thing that probably has the biggest effect and probably bringing more people into the hobby and so forth. That Mini 4K for, $299 the normal price, but much less when it was on sale for $239. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, it's pretty damn good.
They actually, I think somebody else had it.
It's a working man's drone.
Yeah, I think Costco had it for $259 the other day, the Mini 4K. So it's always, I mean, you know, look around a little bit. You probably could find one for a little bit cheaper than, you know.
Yeah, and I agree with Ross.
Ross saying the FEMIs fly good, but their cameras are ordinary.
Even less than ordinary in a lot of cases. Although that the little, and I want to hear Ron's opinion and Johnny, because we've all We all have one in our hands right now. The little Fimi Mini version 3, I believe, is probably the best camera that I've seen on a Fimi drone. What do you think?
Marcus, I was, of course, I posted that video where I first played, but it was all screen recording. I bet you it was a couple of days past before I actually got the memory card out of Joe, put in my computer. I was really, maybe I say shocked, maybe that's overstating surprise. I really didn't expect the video quality to be as good as it was.
Yeah,
that stacked sensor, you can really see some definition and resolution there.
The other thing about the Fimi, their color science was always really weird. So yeah, they've definitely improved.
It was much. You're right. It's much better than the other ones. It's still like I saw some weird white balance in certain situations, but it was much improved over the older Fimi drones.
Yeah, it's the third one I've had. I think I had the X8 Mini or the 2020 or whatever, but this one, this little one right here it's pretty damn good. I tell you, it's fun to fly. All the flight modes work.
A lot of features on it.
Yeah, the flight modes work really well. Yeah.
Try an orbit, Johnny.
Huh?
Try an orbit.
Try an orbit. Okay, I will.
Yeah.
So the Fimi Mini is sort of the runner-up for a best budget drone.
Yeah, I mean, I don't. It's if you're gonna spend probably $250, you probably get the Mini 4K.
Yeah.
When I made that video, Ross saying the Fimi X8 Pro color science is terrible. I remember when Ross put that video out last year or whatever. And they called it a pro drone. Man, I already lost my train of thought. Before I brought up Ross's comment. I was going to say that when I put the video up last week, maybe one of the videos I put about the Mini 4K being on sale for $239. Marcus, I still got that hate from back in the winter where people were saying, "Oh, don't be fooled. It's just a Mini 2, whatever. Don't let them hoodwink you, whatever." And I don't even, outside saying thanks for watching, I don't even respond to people like that. But I'm just saying, hoodwinked is $239. How much hoodwinking can there be, or deception, right?
Yeah.
It's the cheapest decent drone out there. How are you fooling anybody?
Right.
First of all, we told everybody, if you already own a Mini 2, don't buy it.
You don't need it. What it is a Mini 2. Yeah.
My phone heard us talking about Fimi. Look at the batteries popped up.
Yeah, that's all it takes.
Wow. Wow. Yeah. Don't buy it. But if you own what's that drone you just talked about earlier, Marcus, the one you're reviewing now?
Oh, the WePhone WF40.
Yeah. If your best drone is the WF40, then go get the Mini 4K. It'll be a revelation, right?
It would be a revelation. You'd go, holy cow. But you know what? How many people, I get comments like that on some of my videos, that they'll talk about how they had a Holy Stone 700 or something, and then they bought a DJI Mini, and they go, holy cow, I didn't know it could be like,
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, you see that drone lift off the ground, you get that aerial view, and you thinking it looks so good, and it does.
Yeah. Because
you've never seen it before. And then when you really see a drone, it's like, oh my God,
Yeah. I mean, went through the whole thing in the old days. Say when you owned a little camera you bought at the drugstore, those ones you got for $9.99, and you shoot your pictures, you think, oh, these pictures are good here I took, and then you go buy a 35 millimeter camera and you go, wow, how did I live with those $99 disposable cameras?
Yeah.
So, well, guys, I think we've kind of got all the issues settled away. It's almost 10:30 here in the U.S. on the East Coast. What time is it in Hammond, Johnny?
9:30.
Marcus?
8:30.
8:30.
What do you know? 10:30, 9:30, 8:30. We got 3 time zones covered.
Okay, and let's check weather reports. I got a cool 73 degrees here at the Jersey Shore. Johnny?
78.
Marcus?
101 degrees.
Really?
101 at 8:30?
Yeah.
Wow. Boise has certainly you've stolen all the heat.
Well, I tell you.
You could fry some French fries, Marcus, outside. Yeah, put them on.
We do a lot of that in Idaho.
Yeah, there's Idaho potatoes. You could boil them out on the sidewalks.
Yeah.
So,
well, great show, guys. Man, a lot of great information.
Covered a lot of ground today. I want to thank everybody who joined us in the chat today. We had a good crowd. We had international. Ross all the way from Australia was in here tonight. Of course, Mark White, from the UK. Did I miss anybody else? International, of course, Lauren
Donau, yeah. Lauren Donau from North Texas there.
Hey, it's 11:30 in Buenos Aires.
Really?
Yeah. That's what David J. Peterson is saying.
Yeah. We got Richard saying that Fimi XA Pro is a waste of money. Richard's, of course, up there in upstate New York. I believe Richard's in the same time zone I am on the coast. Well, he's not as coastal as I am. I'm about as coastal as you can get, Johnny. If I walked to the end of my street, I'll be in the Atlantic Ocean. That's how coastal I am.
And Captain Ray's out in sunny California. What's it? 9:30, 7:30 out there.
Oh, he's out there visiting his son.
Yeah, he's out there visiting his son. He left at like 2:00 this morning. So yeah, he's had a long day. I'm sure. Yeah.
Now, do you have a show this week?
We do not have a show this week. No, show will be next week. We'll do some viewer videos. No show.
You never know though about Johnny.
Yeah, we might go live. You never know.
Because Bill Thomas won't have a show this week, so Wednesday night schedule is going to be pretty happy looking.
No Captain Ray show Thursday night. Absolutely.
And I don't think there's going to be. I haven't seen a Dobo show advertised. So.
No, I haven't seen Dobo. So
Wednesday's wide open.
Well, is Ken Herron on this week?
Ken Herron is not on. I don't think.
But Wednesday and Thursday are going to be some slow nights.
I'm telling you.
Watch all the new drones get released those days.
Get out there and fly the drones you have and have fun with what you got. Yeah.
Fly what you got.
Yep.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night.
We'll see you next Monday. Hopefully DeMarco Moore is back from his coaching next week.
There you go.
Because you never know. Man's a busy man.
He is.
Stay cool, everybody. Crank those ACs up, right, Johnny?
Yeah.